Hello everyone. This is video of last time revision of erythropoesis. So let's start. First of all, what is erythropoesis? Its definition is process of origin, development, and maturation of erythrocytes. It means that erythrocytes, the total origin from where erythrocyte get origin, development, and maturation of erythrocytes. This whole process is known as erythropoiesis. And one term we came across also is hemopoiesis. Erythropoiesis and hemopoiesis are different. Erythropoiesis is a process of development, origin, and maturation of only erythrocytes. But in case of hemopoiesis, it is process of origin, development, and maturation of all blood cells. It includes all blood cells, not only erythrocytes, like in erythropoiesis. So let's go. Sites of erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis takes place in different sites in lifespan of a human being. First one is in fetal life. Fetal life has also divided in three stages. First 2 months are in mesoblastic stage. So in first 2 months it is called mesoblastic stage. Production of erythrocytes are from mesenchyme of yolk sac. We can also remember only yolk sac. And second is from third month it is called hepatic stage. Production of erythrocytes in hepatic stage is from liver. Mainly liver produce erythrocytes in hepatic stage, and also spleen and lymphoid organ also helps in erythropoiesis. In myeloid stage, which is last 3 months of pregnancy, production of erythrocytes are from bone marrow and liver, red bone marrow mainly, only red bone marrow. And then second stage is in newborn babies, children, and adult. First of all, mainly erythropoiesis occurs in red bone marrow only. In less than 20 years, in individual less than 20 years, bone marrow of all bones. Here we are talking about red bone marrow only. We can see only red bone marrow is participating in erythropoiesis. In case of less than 20 years of individual, bone marrow of all bones taking part in erythropoiesis. All bones include long bones and flat bones like scapula and radius and ulna, humerus. And in more than 20 years individual, production of RBCs from membranous bones, red bone marrow. An interesting case is in case bone marrow is fibrosed, मतलब bone marrow in case bone marrow is fiber bone marrow is fibrosed, then liver and spleen may produce blood cell. Bone marrow, 75% of bone marrow is participating in production of leukocyte. uh, Again, 75% of bone marrow is involved in leukocyte production, whereas only 25% of bone marrow is involved in erythrocyte production. Here we can see most part of the bone marrow is involved in leukocyte production. But when we see in practical life, the leukocyte ratio to erythrocyte is 1:500. It is due to the lifespan of leukocyte is not more than 10 days, whereas in case of erythrocytes its lifespan is 120 days. So to maintain this ratio, the bone marrow, 75% of bone marrow is involved in leukocyte production, whereas 25% of bone marrow is involved in erythrocyte production. And next slide. So in erythropoiesis, there are certain steps through which we get to the erythropoiesis. This is mainly from fetal life. First of all, we came across two uncommitted pluripotent hemopoietic stem cells. Then it converts into committed pluripotent hemopoietic cells. In uncommitted pluripotent cell, it is not divided then which cell it will form. But in case of committed pluripotent hemopoietic cell, it is decided that which cell will be formed from this. Then this committed pluripotent cell will divide into two parts. two divisions. One is lymphoid stem cell and second one is colony forming blastocyst. Lymphoid stem cells will definitely from leukocyte, and colony forming blastocysts will divide into three divisions. First will be colony forming unit E, colony forming unit LM. LM means GM, and the third one is colony forming unit M. Colony forming unit E will form RBC erythrocytes, and colony forming unit GM. First G from G we can guess granulocytes. Granulocytes are three granulocytes in WBC: eosinophil, basophil, and neutrophil. And M stands for monocyte. And colony forming unit M. Colony forming unit M uh, will be forming megakaryocyte, also called platelets. Why it is called colony forming blastocysts? Because it form colony when uh, when seen through microscope. Stages of erythropoiesis. Uh, Erythropoiesis actually starts from here. And this process is called erythropoiesis. Means CFUE. It means colony forming unit erythrocytes to matured RBC. The process from which colony forming unit E converts into matured RBC is called erythropoiesis. So there are six stages in between. First one is proerythroblast, early neuroblast, intermediate neuroblast, late neuroblast, reticulocyte, and matured RBC. Main points of these stages are in proerythroblast synthesis of hemoglobin start. In early neuroblast nuclei disappears. Intermediate neuroblast hemoglobin start appearing. In proerythroblast synthesis of hemoglobin start, but in intermediate normoblast hemoglobin start appearing. In late neuroblast nucleus disappears. In reticulocyte, reticulum is formed. Cell enters capillary. Means cell from the site of production of RBC enters into capillary. Reticulum is formed due to the organ which are getting getting what getting lysed. In matured RBC, reticulum disappears. Cell attain maturity, like the word says, matured RBC. And the common trend which we found through proerythroblast to matured RBC are cell of size decreases, and nucleus and other organelle size decreases. Hemoglobin appears, and eventually all cell organelle get lysed. Factor necessary for erythrocytes. Factor necessary for erythrocytes are mainly divided into three types. First, general factor, second, maturation factor, and third, factor necessary for hemoglobin formation. General factor includes erythropoietin. Erythropoietin is a hormone secreted by adrenal cortex, and thyroxine, and hemopoietic growth factor, and vitamins. As we know, vitamin C and D are necessary for erythropoiesis. And maturation factor. Maturation factor include vitamin B12 and folic acid. And third is factor necessary for hemoglobin production. Hemoglobin is, as we know, hemoglobin is a complex. Hemoglobin is formed by a metal which is heme, and globin is protein. So for formation of globin protein, we need first class protein and first class amino acid. Means high quality protein and high quality amino acid. And iron and Cu and nickel, this is for absorption of proteins. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you.